What's going on, everybody? It is Charlize Walker with Lisa's Business Enterprise here with another nonprofit knowledge tip. Say that 3 times fast. Today, I am going to be talking to you about the LOI or a letter of intent or a letter of inquiry. So, a letter of inquiry, I'll just say LOI because I'm going to get caught up in that. Is for a grant, is for a formal request for a nonprofit organization that is seeking financing for its charitable purposes. So it is usually just a 1 to 3 page letter that allows you to communicate to the foundation your ideas, especially if it aligns with what they're giving funds for and before submitting a full proposal. I'll say it like this because I do resumes too for my nonprofit. So it is like a resume or like a cover. It's like a resume. And the goal of an LOI is to get invited to submit a full grant proposal. This is just to get their attention. So, like I always tell my clients, a resume is like a billboard just to get their attention. They like it. All right, we're going to invite you to interview. So, the LOI is basically the resume for your nonprofit. And they say, okay, I like this. This is what we do. We into. Come on, you get an invite for a full proposal, but only mostly foundations do it. I've seen a few corporate um, a few corporate grants that do it, but again, the goal is to get invited for a full proposal. Those two things are different. It's a letter of inquiry, or a lot of times what we do is full proposals when you're applying. So sometimes you'll have to actually type everything out and mail it in, which is part of the era that I come in at. Where I used to, that's how all grants used to be at least 10 years ago. Now most of them are done online. So you can do them online, or sometimes there are a few that still say submit your proposal, or sometimes it's just invite only. It depends. So as you start to develop your LOI, whether you're doing an email or sending in, you want to be able to get the information from the foundation's website. But I say at least keep these 3 things in mind. One, follow the directions exactly. Every foundation has their own way of handling LOI. So make sure you understand what is expected before you submit, because you can send the LOI and then they say, hey, we want this, that, and the other. You just don't want to go off and send them everything and they didn't ask for it. I guarantee you they'd be like, nope, they didn't follow directions. So if you can't follow directions, you ain't gonna follow directions with the money neither. So number 2 is only include, which I just said, only include attachments. Of course, what they ask for, a failure to follow directions can mean immediate disqualifications. So just think of budgets and other attachments may be required with your LOI. So when you're putting together your budget and everything, just think about, look at the foundation's 990 forms. It's 990 is available to everybody, or look on guidestar.org and look them up, or look on their website if they have one, to see what type of organizations they have awarded in the past. That way you can see if there's a good match, and also you be able to adjust your budget accordingly. So, you may need 100,000 and they may only give like $5,000 or $10,000 out. So ask them for 10,000 or something like that. So the last thing you want to do is proofread. Just like when you're submitting a resume or submitting a paper for school or something like that, you want to be able to check your grammar and your spelling. You don't want to come off as unprofessional, with a lot of spelling errors or grammatical errors and everything. So, as I say, if you have a team, if you are partner with a grant writer, just make sure once before they submit it, you'll be able to read over it, use the spell check and Word and everything, and you'll be a-okay. So That is what a letter of inquiry, a letter of intent is. Be sure to check out my product. If you need help with a LOI, go to my products under the nonprofit consultation page, the tab, and and you'll be able to. I just loaded the grants and donor management that has samples and it actually has templates. So the LOI is in there, but it also has some letters and everything else in there that you can use, because you always want to thank the donor or the foundation, your grant or whatever, if you get it, the grant, or if you don't, you still thank them. So, and don't forget about the grants list starter pack that I already have in there. So if you need help with searching and everything, go ahead and get that list, and that way it can help you be grant ready. You always want to be ready, okay?